Activision and Infinity Ward got in a lot of trouble for having these maps in the game, and today I'm going to tell you why. Hello there everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Infinity Ward and Activision getting in some hot water. Now, I think you'll notice when we all played the beta, there was a certain map that was very, broken, but it was a decent map, and that map was the museum. Now, a lot of people were very confused that when the actual game, finally came out, that this map was no longer in the active map pool. So we got a lot of people asking questions. Where's this map gone? Why has it been removed? Did they just not like it? Did they delete it? Well, it appears they got in a bit of trouble for having this map in the game. So the map was called the Valderas Museum, and it was heavily based on the Getty Museum in Los Angeles. Now, it is pretty clear that Activision was being hit with a copyright claim because they did not get permission to create the actual place in the game, and I'm sure you can imagine why they probably didn't get permission to add it into the game, because people are being shot there. Multiple people running at each other, shooting. It's not exactly, the ideal representation of your museum you want in a video game. You'd probably want it showing off how, oh look at us, we have amazing artwork. But no, now you're putting bullet holes into them. So of course, then when the game was actually released, they didn't have the game in the map pool. And it's understandable why. They didn't want huge amounts of lawsuits barking up their door, loads of letters coming through their PO box telling them, get our museum out your game. Now, this isn't the only map that they had trouble with. They also had a map that is still in the game that went by the name Crown Raceway when the beta was released. Now, Crown Raceway, as an F1 fan, is based on the Marina Bay Grand Prix, which is in Singapore. Now, it's quite heavily based on it, and it's quite heavily based on the pit lanes and all that kind of interesting stuff. I'm sure you're fascinated with that. But once again, they had licensing issues considering that the map was based on it. So they were forced to change the name and remove certain aspects from the map just to take away the likeness, so they didn't keep getting in trouble for having people going to battle in public locations that are very popular all around the world. These places bring in huge amounts of revenue from tourists all around the world, and I'm sure they wouldn't want this is where you shoot people in that new Modern Warfare game slapped and branded on the front of their beautiful locations. There's also been recently announced that there's another map that is also having problems with their likenesses being in the game, and that is the Greenberg Hotel. Now, they are very unhappy because their hotel and the likeness of it is also featured in Modern Warfare 2, which you can imagine is causing some even more problems for Activision. One by one, their maps are having to be removed from the game because they're using real life locations, and the places are not happy about it. And you can imagine if it was a game that wasn't about shooting people, I'm sure they'd probably be a little bit more lenient. But because the game is all about shooting people with guns in close quarters combat, I'm sure they're not very happy about their locations being used. So this has obviously prompted a lot of changes from Activision and Infinity Ward surrounding these maps. For example, Crown Raceway got renamed. The hotel still hasn't had anything done to it yet, but I'm sure that something will be done to it in the near future, considering that lawsuit is most likely going to be continuing. And also they removed the museum map from the game completely, which then led to issues of there not being enough maps on the game at release. So that forced Infinity Ward and Activision into adding more maps into the game, and that's where you can see the lovely footage that I've recorded behind from the new map that's just been added in Season 1, Shoot House. Now, Shoot House was a fan favourite from the original Modern Warfare, and I'm really glad they brought it back because it is a fantastic map. I mean, the close quarters combat is just excellent, and They've updated it with the new scenery and it looks stunning, I'm sure you can agree. So I hope you're enjoying the gameplay that's in the background, because I am really enjoying this new map, and I'm glad they re-added it into the game, and I'm glad there's a little bit more variety in the map pool now, so you're not just stuck playing the same maps over and over again. And I hope in the coming months they continue to make those changes and continue to add more maps so that there's more for these players to play. I mean, this is a game that's going to be in its life cycle for 3 years. 3 years? Well, it's a long time anyway. So they need to keep adding those continuous maps so people just don't get bored of their game, because that's the last thing they'd want, is for people to get bored. Now, they're adding a lot of stuff to the game. I mean, Warzone 2 has just been released, and I think it's fantastic, and I'm really enjoying it, so I cannot wait to record and make a video for you on that. And also DMZ, which I think is brilliant, and I'm going to record a similar video to my last video, you know, the kind of meme montage-y kind of things. I'm really enjoying making that content, and it's really good fun. So I'm still trying to find my foot in with the kind of content I want to create on this channel, but I'm really enjoying making it. So this game is definitely going to be hanging around on this channel for a long time. But yeah, so Activision and Infinity Ward getting in trouble for having real life maps in their game. Wow, I mean, you never would have thought it. I mean, you thought they would have got permission before they went ahead and made those maps, but, you know, it seems they didn't. So, yeah, I mean, what are your opinions on this? Do you think they should have removed the maps from the game? Do you think they should have fought to keep them in? Or do you think they should just create a whole new map pool entirely and add loads more maps into the game? Let me know what you think in the comments. But if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on so you don't miss any more of my new content. But thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate the support, and I'll see you soon.